guys, today we're going to be looking at Chapter 13, Lesson 1.6, Exploring Africa's Wildlife. The essential question: how has the varied geography of sub-Saharan Africa affected people's lives? The objective: explain the importance of Africa's big cats and other wildlife, and describe the efforts to protect the animals and their habitats. Today we're going to look at a couple of videos and get some great information on the big cats of Africa. Hey Elliot, what does the lion say? Big cats, such as lions, cheetahs, and leopards, are a vital part of Africa's wildlife. Since the 1940s, the number of lions has decreased from 450,000 lions down to just 20,000. The main cause of this is humans. The hunting, poaching, and invasion of habitats has decreased the number. Beverly and Dereck Joubert are explorers in residence for National Geographic. They live in Botswana today, where they are researching lions as well as other animals and doing some great filming and education for the future. In 1981, the Jouberts joined the Chobe Lion Research Institute in Botswana. Here they began their intensive lion research. They even changed their lifestyle and became nocturnal like the lions so that they could follow in their footsteps and see exactly what the lions were doing 24/7. The Jouberts' main mission was conserving the big cats' habitats. Protecting habitats also protects the biosphere, or the diversity of life. In the habitat, the Jouberts' projects drew much attention to the plight of the big cats. Their knowledge of the big cats helps others to help build better conservation to save these great creatures.
We came out here following a dream, romance, and adventure.
Beverly and I came here 30 years ago, looking for what is arguably the greatest story on Earth. How the world's top predators are the engines that drive everything.
It's absolutely amazing. I've always wondered how this is possible.
I love this life. We get to look into the eyes of predators each day, and that challenges you. We don't take on a film project just because we want to make a good film. Everything that we do with National Geographic is based on a core foundation of conservation. There are few moments in life when you know immediately that some kind of everlasting magic has just happened. This is one of them.
Through our films, we want people to have complete respect for the animals.
Our job is to never interfere with that behavior. It was the first time anyone had filmed lions hunting elephants. It surprised us.
My heart pounds with anxiety during elephant kills. I want to shout out, go, run, but I don't. I can't.
People think working as a wildlife filmmaker is all about capturing images. But we spend at least half of our lives just trying to survive.
We have to be able to put up with whatever the elements are throwing at us.
And just staying out of being dead. Africa's sort of made up of a whole lot of these beautiful scenes that mesh together. And in that is the beauty of harshness. We use our lives, our work as inspiration to other people to follow the same principled conservation ethic.
For Dereck and me, it's been a journey to understand the importance and the intensity of wild Africa. It just makes us more determined to make our stories more poignant. These wild places have something too magical about them to let go.
We're all explorers at heart. We all like to know that the world is not tame. In our case, there's a dark cousin of passion, and that's obsession. You have to be obsessive about stepping out into the desert where you know that there's a very good chance that you could die. There are great rewards in the unknown. It changes your life profoundly.
The Jouberts also support ecotourism. Ecotourism is focused on wildlife protection and responsible use of land and resources. Ecotourism teaches visitors about the conservation efforts being made by the people in Africa. The Jouberts are quite active in this and want people to share in that.
Tourism is the fastest growing industry, and ecotourism is the fastest growing sector within that industry. Ecotourism can be defined as activities involving the natural world with the aim of aiding conservation and providing tourists with the opportunity to view wildlife. However, these aims have created a debate among environmentalists on whether they actually provide a benefit to the environment or create additional problems. One of the biggest ecotourism hotspots is Africa, with many tourists flocking to countries such as South Africa to undertake wildlife experiences on both land and sea. These include activities such as shark watching trips and game drives in any of the numerous game reserves the country has established. Kruger National Park, for example, attracts over 1 million visitors annually.
These activities generate money to reinvest into conservation of the environment and also into the local community. For example, money earned at Addo National Park not only goes back into the park itself, but also into the communities surrounding the park, supporting a number of diverse projects. By involving local communities, environmental awareness is raised, educating and hopefully preventing poaching and further destruction of the land. Tourists also benefit from this education and conservation is promoted. Shark trips, for example, can help raise awareness of an animal which many people have bad perceptions of and may not necessarily understand their need for protection.
While ecotourism is advertised and perceived by the masses as a positive service for the environment in Africa, it is not necessary to look hard to see that ecotourism is not always what it seems. As mentioned earlier, money generated is reinvested back into conservation. However, there are many places where the experiences are won for a profit, rather than protection, and only a small percentage of the money is actually reinvested. These places tend to be private reserves. To make a profit, they have to create a unique and memorable experience for the tourist, which may involve disturbing animals. Kariga, a private game reserve, drives tourists in safari jeeps right into the animals' habitats, getting extremely close to the animals in the process. This can either frighten or distress the animals. The proximity to the animals can also cause them to become accustomed to humans. For example, on shark watching trips, the sharks are brought closer to the boats through the use of bait, which could cause considerable problems in the future. The sharks may no longer perceive boats as a threat, and in a country where poaching is a problem, this can be dangerous.
The way that private experiences are run needs to be regulated to avoid the problems mentioned. If this can be achieved in the long term, the benefits of ecotourism will outweigh the disadvantages. Strict guidelines of where tourists can be taken need to be established, and the interactions that tourists have with the animals should be monitored. Ecotourism has a long way to go before it is the perfect balance of income-generating tourism and conservation. As for now, it appears that ultimately money is still the driving force.
Okay, now that we've concluded our lesson, I need you to take out your notebooks and write down the vocabulary words we'll be showing here in just a minute. Make sure you get the words and definitions. I'll also be giving you a few questions that I want you to think about for tomorrow's lesson. They are: what are some ways of protecting the big cats? Using what you know about sub-Saharan Africa and geography, what might explain the lack of wildlife reserves in the north? Number 3, the Jouberts have helped save the big cats. How have they also helped the economy of sub-Saharan Africa? And lastly, what would it be to devote your life to a particular cause of interest? Tomorrow we'll be dividing you up into 2 groups, and we'll have two different activities. The first activity is a group discussion where we will discuss the video, vocab, and the questions that I gave you at the end of the video. We'll also be having a little debate on whether you are for or against ecotourism. Make sure you have some good support for your reasons of choice. The second activity is a one-pager that we will do on issues of poaching, animal reserves, and ecotourism in sub-Saharan Africa. You can use video, the book, and the internet for extra resources. Thanks.